Good morning, everyone. Is it okay to say Happy National Heat Awareness Day? We want to make sure that everything that these experts are talking about today becomes common knowledge. Common knowledge does not come because we have a public awareness campaign. It's important. It doesn't come just because our terrific leaders tell us the message, although that is incredibly important. Real common knowledge comes from horizontal communication, going to people where they are. As soon as every single person, or at least a critical mass of folks who live in Miami-Dade County, understand that it needs to be common knowledge that we have to take care of pregnant people and babies, especially with this extreme heat. This is going to be a safer and a more beautiful place to live, and everybody knows we love this as a place to live. So we are thrilled that you care enough. You're the ones who show up, and I know you're great communicators. So please, everything that you hear from today's experts and leaders, take it to where people need to hear it. Thanks so much. And here we go. Stephanie, shall we?
We are starting the press conference.
Good morning, everyone. Stephanie?
Welcome.
Thank you very much. You need to. This is your house. This is your house.
Welcome to City Hall, everybody. We're really excited to have you all here. It's a very important day for us. It's Heat Awareness Day, and I'm sure all of us are feeling it right about now. This is the second year in a row, and we are very happy on behalf of the mayor and our commission. We want to welcome all of you, and I know that you have a lot of important information to share with everybody. And towards the end, you're also going to see a very exciting presentation. We have with us here our Deputy CRO, Alyssa Farina. I also want to give a shout out to our Assistant Fire Chief Emergency Manager, Robert Evia. And we have a very exciting run of show. I want our Chief Heat Officer, Jane Gilbert, to come on up. Please get close to the podium. And I also would like Dr. Cordero, who will be speaking at the end, to come on up. And you take it away. Yes, thank you all so much.
Stronger together is what we say at Your Women's Fund Miami-Dade. So good morning. My name is Maria Meyer, Executive Director of Your Women's Fund, and we could not be any more thrilled than truly feeling stronger together with our city and our county. We do amazing things. We have leadership across many areas, and on National Heat Awareness Day, who better to lead across the country than your Miami, right? Right? So here we are. So sometimes the most complex issues really have some very simple answers. So we're outside because it's hot and we want everybody to feel it, but we have a little screen over here, and we are going to show you an explainer video, a simple show to get this party started. Please take a look at the screen.
It's the simple show. Mm-hmm.
Your Women's Fund loves Miami-Dade. Our city is hot and getting hotter. So let's get informed and prepared to prevent dangerous effects of extreme heat on the people that we love too. Did you know that exposure to high temperatures has been linked to premature birth, low birth weights, and even stillbirth? Pregnancy reduces the body's capacity to thermoregulate, and babies are extra vulnerable too. On National Heat Awareness Day 2020, we launched a powerful public awareness campaign with Mayors Daniela Levine Cava and Francis Suarez, and great community partners. This heat season, the city and county are supporting stronger than ever, along with our fabulous partners from Baptist Health and our newest contributor, Bolo Foundation. Because Miami is subtropical, the dangers of heat are often underestimated, but now you know. Many solutions are actually quite simple, including reducing global warming. Join us in spreading the word. We are more resilient and stronger together. Thank you. And now, speaking of great leaders, We have a great leader in the city of Miami, Alyssa Farina, please.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Alyssa Farina and I am the Deputy Chief Resilience Officer for the City of Miami. So happy welcome to National Heat Awareness Day. This is an issue that we have been beginning to address in the city. And I want to say that as Floridians and Miamians, our community is already quite resilient to heat stress compared to other cities worldwide. But as climate changes and Miami experiences more extreme heat days than ever, it's important to draw attention to this silent killer. So I want to thank our partners for really elevating this issue. Miami currently experiences roughly 30 extreme heat days a year. So that's days that feel over 104 degrees. And by 2050, in the next 30 years, that could go up to 100 days, so 3 months. As a woman, as an athlete, as an aunt, this gives me concern. But thankfully, due to the work of all of our partners, we are bringing awareness to this issue and working on ways to mitigate this problem. Whenever we do outreach in our community, the number one thing they ask for is more education and more awareness building. So again, the work that the Women's Fund of Miami-Dade is doing, the work that the Extreme Heat Resilience Alliance, RSHROC, is doing to bring awareness to this issue is really impactful in beginning to move the needle and building the awareness of this issue. As the heat season begins, I am proud to say that our building department is working to ensure compliance of assisted living facilities and nursing homes with our generator ordinance. In addition, the preliminary work that we've been doing to build a resilience hub at Hadley Park at the Carrie P. Meek Center moves forward. This initiative would weatherize the building to extreme conditions, add Wi-Fi capabilities, charging stations, and install an on-site generator so it could be a cooling center and refuge in times of need. Lastly, we are excited to have more data than ever to address extreme heat in our community. Google Environmental Insights Explorer has provided great granular data about our city's tree canopy, so we can be more strategic about where we implement cooling solutions. City of Miami recognizes the importance of this issue, the threat that extreme heat presents to our community, and we are eager to move forward with all the partnerships we have established, catalyzed by the work of the Women's Fund of Miami-Dade. So thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our former Chief Resilience Officer, Jane Gilbert, for her ongoing work in the community. And I will give it back to Maria to introduce our next partner.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. And we have to say one more time, Chief Robert Evia, it is your fault, sir, really, that we're all here today, because the Women's Fund did bring together experts after listening to the community. We listened to Catalyst and Opalaka Development Corporation over 2.5 years ago. We thought we were talking about women's economic mobility, but when we asked them what they were facing, they said, we're working with heat because our clients are suffering from the heat in many ways. So one thing led to another, and Chief Evia and the City of Miami Resilience Committee listened to our recommendations that came from those very self-same experts, including Alyssa, Dr. Amy Clement, Human Rights Watch, and others, and from Catalyst, who are working on this issue. And that stronger together, working together, brings us to the time when you are ready to take the information that all these experts have put together and take it further. There's nothing more important than working with smart, savvy partners. And we learned that the Healthier Baby Committee of the Coalition for a Healthier Miami-Dade was working on these very same subjects. The co-chair is here to speak with you. Esther's going to introduce herself, as well as Dr. Cordero from the March of Dimes, who are doing this work. And they're going to tell you the medical side of what happens and why this is so absolutely important. Thank you both.
Thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Esther McCant. I'm the CEO of Metro Miami Agency, and I have been working in Miami-Dade County for about 7 years. And during my time working in Miami-Dade County, I have been afforded the opportunity to co-chair the Healthy Baby Task Force, which is a part of the Consortium for a Healthier Miami-Dade County. And I've also been afforded the opportunity to work as the Education and Communication Coordinator for the Jasmine Project. In addition to that, I serve as a mentor to new doulas who are interested in working with our women of color and women all over Miami-Dade County. And I would be remiss if I didn't share with you that during all 4 of my pregnancies, I was able to withstand the extreme heat, living as a Haitian American woman in a house that was built way before 1960s. And I'm thankful for the advice from my midwives to advise me to make sure that I'm drinking adequate water. So our mission at the Healthy Baby Task Force is to positively influence social determinants of health and reduce racial disparities and infant mortality. Plain and simple, we never want to lose another birthing person's life or baby due to racism, due to heat, or any other preventable cause of social determinant of health. And everyone already knows we should not leave a baby in a car. But nobody really is aware of the fact that issues like gentrification and urban heat zones actually disproportionately put our Black and brown mamas at risk because they're usually living in homes that could be dealing with substandard maintenance of that air conditioning. They're not able to keep themselves cool. They don't have adequate spaces to get cool shade outside, and they're often more vulnerable during natural disasters. One such incident happened with a doula client of mine. During Hurricane Irma, actually. We found as birthing professionals, we did not have adequate know what they should do during their pregnancies. And so I found myself fleeing the state of Florida, headed to Georgia, caravanning with my client to just make sure that she was safe during her 3rd trimester. And thankfully, the reason for that is because she knew that her landlord had not fixed her roof. She knew that she was going to be subject to dealing with some major issues on her property. And so as doulas, I leaned into my birth professionals, and I also trusted them when we encouraged each other with sharing resources. That's what we do as doulas. And so I'm very excited to hear that our Mayor Suarez, and also Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, they joined forces with the Women's Fund to provide this public campaign. And so what you should expect from Metro Miami Agency is I plan to make sure that all of the doulas under my mentorship program are trained on how to provide information to our clients on this issue. And we also want to make sure that everyone who's listening and watching, that you make sure that you speak to our pregnant mamas and make sure that they understand that this is a very serious issue that can impact their health. It can change the course of their baby's growth and development, and it can also negatively impact their birthing experience. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll hand it over to Dr. Cordero.
Hi, Dwight Cordero, and I'd like to start by thanking Myra and Viviana of the Women's Fund Miami-Dade and Mayor Suarez for the opportunity to speak about the potential adverse effects of heat on pregnancy outcomes. Being pregnant in the sweltering summer heat of South Florida can be miserable, but heat also is very serious to the health of the birthing individual and her baby. For pregnant mothers, excessive heat, like we will experience in the next few months, can overwhelm their ability to regulate their body's core temperature. And an increase in the mother's core temperature is also likely to increase the baby's core temperature. Maternal exposure to excessive heat places the woman at increased risk of dehydration, heat exhaustion, and even heat stroke. Recent studies suggest that there may be a connection to extreme heat exposure and an increased rate of maternal gestational diabetes, as well as hypertension and multiple hospitalizations. For the fetus, the first trimester is considered to be the most vulnerable period in which heat insults may increase the risk of birth defects, such as neural tube defects, such as spina bifida, cardiac defects, and craniofacial malformations, such as cleft lip and palate. epidemiological studies suggest that high ambient temperatures later in pregnancy may be associated with preterm birth, low birth weight, as well as stillbirth. There is, however, a gap in our knowledge of the associations between heat and adverse effects for the mom and the fetus, and more sophisticated research needs to be performed in order to address the health needs of these women and of the pregnant women. With the increased risk of pregnancy, complications secondary to excessive heat exposure, it's imperative that expectant mothers take precautions in order to obtain healthy outcomes for themselves and their babies. So that's what I have to say. But I am a member of, and I do represent March of Dimes, and so Miami-Dade County and the Birth Equity Collaboration. I just wanted to say that our program focuses on improving access to health care among populations that face disproportionately high pregnancy risk. Our organization alone cannot achieve our goal of reducing preterm births and maternal morbidity. We are grateful for our partners at the Women's Fund Miami-Dade, Human Rights Watch, Dream on Green, and Homes for All, with whom we are collaborating on finding and enacting solutions to the inequality in birth and maternal health outcomes in South Florida.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Dwight Cordero from the March of Dimes. The March of Dimes has an impact collaboration. We do impact collaboratives at the Women's Fund. We're all working together, stronger together, and thank you so very much. And very much to the Healthier Miami-Dade Consortium. There's so much that we can do because we are most certainly better together. So exciting issues have been brought up today. At the Women's Fund, we always say it's important what we need to know, but most importantly then, what can we do? Never, ever are we without a fishing pole, and you have amazing people in your stellar city. And one of them is our Chief Heat Officer, Jane Gilbert from the county. And Jane, in addition to whatever you were going to say, thank you for also addressing some of the things that Esther McCant talked about what do we do when natural disasters come? How do we keep our people safe?
Thank you, Maria, and thank you for inviting us here today. On behalf of our mayor, Danielle Levine Cava, Heat Awareness Day is critical. My position was created in late April last year to address the increasing risks of extreme heat. We formed a task force. Our work is truly collaborative. And so the way the Women's Fund, Maria, her team, her board have gone about this, our mayor, myself, have been a longtime supporter of the work that the Women's Fund has done to address the health and economic needs of women in this community. The way they stepped up to be a partner in these efforts has just been, it's just phenomenal and a great demonstration of how our community collaborates. Our plan, Chief Hevia has been part of our task force. The City of Miami Beach, many community-based organizations, our university partners who are represented here today have all been members of that task force and providing input. We're going to be releasing a short-term action plan in July of this year. Our mayor determined from May 1st to October 31st as an official heat season. And what that means is that we are going to inform our communities. To Esther's point, we're going to be getting the word out and informing our communities of what they need to do to protect themselves on the level that we do of hurricane preparedness here. So there's information about what to do in the event of a power outage in our hurricane guides that went out to every home in Miami-Dade County earlier this month. And one of our video PSAs was shown earlier. We have 3. They're going to be translated in Spanish and Haitian Creole. We're creating radio spots for 3 languages as well. Some are directed for general audience, some for particularly targeted for outdoor workers. We also will have bus shelter and bus ads and billboards like the Women's Fund. So we're going to be spreading ours out, but really targeting the zip codes and neighborhoods that have the highest number of severe heat-related illnesses. And we just completed a couple of reports on heat vulnerability here in Miami-Dade. Dr. Cordero talked about the need for more data and research, and that's true across the board. I learned from you today. I had known about the risks to preterm births, but I had not known about the risks in the first trimester. So thank you for sharing that. And this is what this is about, is sharing information and resources. We're going to be publishing our heat vulnerability assessment and story map. It'll come out next week, and you will be able to see the zip codes that have those highest rates. The correlation between severe heat-related illnesses, we have the highest correlation with areas of high surface temperatures. Esther spoke about that. Low-income populations, families with children, and high prevalence of outdoor workers. So our campaign is going to be particularly targeting those communities through all these different outreach. We're also training our disaster volunteers with specific heat-related techniques, a heat response, how to get the word out to their neighbors, giving them heat response kits, and making sure they show up at some of our biggest outdoor events this summer. This weekend included in Miami Beach. I did a training last week with our disaster volunteers in Miami Beach who are going to be staffing the Memorial Day weekend, which can have a lot of challenges with heat-related illnesses. So they're prepared. That's part of the partnership between the cities and the county through our Resilient 305. It is, an easy yes to support the Women's Fund on this initiative, and they give to us as much as we're giving to them on this campaign. And thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you. Stronger together. There's so many ways to participate, and so many people are here. Baptist Health Foundation, who supported us last year, is back and supporting this year. Thank you so much, Baptist Health. Much appreciated. The Miami Herald supported today with an op-ed that I encourage you all to read, written by our newest friends from Volo Foundation, incredible leaders in many areas, including in climate change. And so we thank Volo Foundation for joining the innovation party this year as well. The county has joined us with funding additionally this year. We're absolutely thrilled. And the Miami Foundation, Arched Rock, our website, the Women's Fund Miami-Dade /Heat Health, there's information for all of us. And Viviana Alvarado Pacheco, who works on this campaign and leads within our team as senior research associate and somebody who got her master's in this stuff, so she would do this on her day off. We all are willing and able to cater our marketing materials and our informational materials to go out to where people live. So you who reach others, please tell us how we help you to do so. We are at your service. And I think we've got a good surprise now, and maybe our board chair and our team and anybody else who had the Volo Foundation, Baptist Health, if you'd like to all join us for photo ops, and after the photo op we can maybe see the PSA, and then here we go. Stephanie?
My wireless mic was working, but it is not. At this time, I want to present on behalf of the City of Miami and Mayor Francis Suarez a donation. This is the second donation that he makes, and he's doubling it this year. The Women's Fund is getting $20,000 for this heat awareness campaign, and you already called everybody up, but I want everybody to come for the photo op. This is really important. Obviously, this is to help you all continue these very important efforts. So come on up.
Come on up, Meg. All stronger together people. Right we like you here.
Over here.
So difficult for me not to talk. I want to invoke Mayor Francis Suarez and Mayor Daniela Cava, who were with us this time last year. They are always with us. We have fearless leaders here, and they can only lead as fearlessly as they do because of the input of all of their citizens who show up. So thank you for being the ones who show up, and happy long weekend. Take care of our pregnant people.
Thank you all, and don't forget to follow us on social media because throughout today, Heat Awareness Day, we're going to be pushing out a lot of really good messaging, and I think you're all doing the same at Women's Fund Miami, and the City of Miami is on all social media platforms at City of Miami and also at City of Miami Gov. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
I know, that's good. Thank you. Thank you everybody so much for joining. That is a wrap, 2022.